We're live. Welcome back to Aligning with Success, everyone. Hope you all had a very lovely weekend with Canada Day on July 1st, and of course, the celebration of 4th of July in the US. And I don't know that this day was any different than any previous day regarding these special events, but I'm kind of conscientious of what these days represent. Maybe more sensitive or sensitized to that today than ever before. So I just hope you all celebrated the real intention and purpose behind these events, and are reminded of the victories that were had, that was fought in honor of nations being formed and freedoms being created. So, we're living at a time right now where I feel the violations of those things are on a scale that we've never seen before, even during a overt war. So that's why I'm highly sensitized to it. But regardless of all that, if you are in NICAN, you have a degree of freedom that few people actually enjoy who are in the world of business. And I've been doing a lot of presenting lately. I'm invited to be on ABC calls quite a bit now, especially where my girls are concerned. And it's an opportunity for me to meet another generation. Many of the people that they're introducing me to are younger, and hear from them and see what are the thoughts that are causing them to think about their future and in what direction. And what's coming up so beautifully clear is how the business model that we have in NICAN is something that circumvents all the trappings of success, but provides all of the benefits. And so I find myself often redefining or helping them to redefine what the definition of success is, and that being something that's in alignment with, I think, virtues and truths that are independent of politics, independent of nations. It's just about the freedom of the spirit of man to express oneself in the best way possible that provides us with health and abundance as created beings, created in the likeness and image of the Creator. So it's pretty hard to come by a business vehicle that even comes close to those kind of lofty ideals. And today is the birthday of one of my mentors in life and in NICAN, Bob Proctor, who I had a chance to connect with today and wish him a happy birthday. And he put it best when he told me and shared with all of us, I believe, the definition of success that he gained from his mentorship with Earl Nightingale, who was quoted as saying, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." So if we really look at that, if we really examine that, it's not about the material in the sense of what most people think success is, or power, climbing the corporate ladder to a position of prominence and power. It's really about whether or not this moment, at this very moment, you are in alignment with what is in harmony with your virtue, your value, your true essence. And that is a human being expressing oneself through the 5 major attributes that we express ourselves through, namely our body, which is a manifestation of mind, our family, which are the relationships that we first develop here on earth, and then of course our extended family, which is the people that we recognize as society around us, and then lastly the material side of which is the finances. So how we are expressing that, or basically how we are receiving that, how we are shaped at this moment in time, is an expression of what's flowing out of us. And if we're in alignment with success and we understand that definition, is to be in harmony or in alignment with those values, then if we are really in alignment with that, then our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions are consistent with expressions and of abundance in those areas. In other words, in simple terms, what I ate for dinner tonight would be in alignment with a healthy frequency to my body, a healthy vibration. What I'm drinking, as a matter of course, is in alignment with a healthier expression of my body. And so it's those thoughts, those feelings, those actions that we entertain that is either in alignment or out of alignment with a healthy expression of ourselves. And that is success. And success is a moment by moment situation. So what a different paradigm that is than the world that we're, embraced or taught to embrace as a kid growing up. So as I'm meeting some of these people and I'm listening to them, I'm finding more and more of them are less detached, or I should say, are more detached to the material side of life and are more interested in finding their purpose. Now, I bring this up because I was recently watching a video that was shared with me by Elena, my niece, and I've since shared it with the others, and maybe I'll share it with you guys as well. It's just a short clip from Robert Kiyosaki, and he's teaching a millennial a lesson, a very, very important lesson, because they are constantly saying, what I really want out of life is to live my passion. And so they're centered on passion as their sort of their alignment. I'm in alignment with what I'm doing in life, what I'm creating in life, if I have passion. And while I'm a strong advocate for passion, passion doesn't lead to wealth necessarily. So there needs to be a little bit more of a qualifier there. And in his presentation of a few minutes, as he's teaching this person, he says very clearly that this is a huge mistake made by most millennials, is that they think that they want to do what they love. And that usually means they're contextualized into the employee or the self-employed category, specialist category of this is what I love to do. And so they're focused on what they love to do. And he reminds people, he says, most of the people who are on the right-hand side of those cash flow quadrants, who have money and time, who have assets earning them money, many of them had to do stuff that they didn't love to get to a place where they can do and invest in what they love. And so, for instance, he says, I love real estate and I invest in real estate and other things that he's very passionate about. He invests in avocados. He's very passionate about that. So he's investing in those things, but he had to first learn how to do a bunch of things that he didn't really like doing. One of the things he talked about is accounting and taxes and insurance and legal matters. Because, when you're on the right-hand side, people sue you. On the left-hand side, nobody bothers with you because you have no money. So things that he had to learn that he didn't necessarily like, he had no real passion for. He said, for instance, I don't like writing books. I mean, I hate writing books, but writing books helped me with my purpose. It was in alignment with my purpose. And then he defined that. He was really clear about that. He said, passion is selfish. It's all about you. It's what you get. But purpose is about service to others. It's about what you create and how you affect the people around you. And so that was a really interesting perspective. I found that I never really realized that, because for me, I was very fortunate in Nikken, where I discovered both my passion and my purpose. How rare is it to be both aligned with your purpose and your passion, and be able to make a huge impact and create wealth all at the same time? It's just not something that is very, very common. And not even for a guy like Robert Kiyosaki. He had to wait till he was on the right-hand side and financially capable of then investing in some of the things that he was more passionate about. So I found that really interesting, that clarification about purpose versus passion. And the other reason why it's a clarifier is because if you don't equate purpose to service, and you don't put some type of a measure behind that, what's the meaning behind that? What's the significance of that? Then how do you know if you're on track? How do you know if you're creating? Yeah, I will show that video. How do you know if you're creating anything of substance? So this all kind of falls back to a presentation that I did some months ago, and maybe even earlier than that, a year ago, called My 3 Keys to Success. And one of the first things I talk about is that you really need to make a distinction between who you are as the CEO of a company, you personally, and your business, that you are not the same. These are different things. And now I'm starting to understand in the relationship of purpose and passion why that's so relevant. Because if your business doesn't serve a purpose, it's not going to provide for you in any substantial way to be able to pursue your passion or even live your passion necessarily. So I'll give an example. Somebody who's struggling financially in Nikken may not have the ability to continue doing Nikken, which could be in fact the fulfillment of their passion, helping and serving people in this way. So, or teaching, that's my passion. My passion, turns out, it's teaching. And my purpose, on the other hand, is to create a business that has meaning, that has significance, that has impact. See the distinction? And then my personal purpose, Mike DiMuccio, the person, the human being, is to experience a life in balance. So in abundance. So my personal purpose is not my business's purpose. My business's purpose is to spread the message of Nikken globally. My business's purpose is to expand influence and create greater influence, which is measurable and tangible. And how do we know? Because I get a report card at the end of every month, just like you. We can go online to my Nikken and have a look at what's going on in our business. We can see on the 15th of the following month what it looks like when we receive our direct deposit. That tells me, how purposeful my business was in the previous month. Did it have an impact? What's the degree of impact? It's very measurable. So getting clarity between you as an individual, you as a person, your personal purpose, and your vision of what that purpose looks like if you are living your purpose. So I'll give an example of what I mean by that. Purpose is an intangible. It's an idea, it's a direction, it's an ideal, essentially. But vision is a tangible. It's something you can actually see in your mind's eye, or you can draw it, or you can write it. Having a visual perspective of what it looks like if you were in fact living your purpose is an important thing to have as well. How many of you on this call have what we call a life cycle plan or a vision board? How many of you are like looking at it every single day, that it's part of how you live? And if you're living your purpose, part of your living of your purpose is the visualization of the life you want to live, sort of inherent in that. So by having a visualization or a visual of what it is that you want to create and what it looks like if you're living your purpose, it could be, for instance, taking a walk on the beach. Maybe that's part of it. Or walking in nature, that's part of it. Or eating healthy food, that's part of it. Those could be images that conjure up those feelings, that idea. Or living in a wellness home, that's part of it. So how you express that vision of you living the ideal life, a life in alignment with success, success being you're on purpose, I think is really important. But it's different than what your business requires. Your business has the same need. And if you don't identify your business as different than you, separate than you, then you're not going to be doing the things that make money and your business viable or cause your business to grow in a way that's predictable. And therefore, it's really a hobby, not so much a business. And my experience of hobbies is hobbies are very expensive propositions. Businesses can make you money and can create wealth, whereas hobbies usually cost money. So having a purpose for your business and having a visual or visualization of what it looks like if it's on purpose, I think is really, really important. So let me help you with some of that. First and foremost, if you haven't already done this, give your business an identity. It should be called something. My business is called Good Vibrations International. That's the name of my business. It's actually a corporation. It's incorporated. That's not a necessary thing until your accountant tells you it's a necessary thing. But give your business some kind of an identity so that you consider yourself the CEO of that business. That business is a Niken Silver or a Niken Gold or an Niken Diamond. That's the designation or the rank designation of the business, not you. You're a human being. You're so way beyond rank. Nobody can put a rank or a label on you. That should never enter the equation. But the paradigms from which we come from in the corporate rung, as we're climbing the corporate ladder, we're used to labels like that. And so it's easy for us to put these labels on, and that strokes the ego, but it takes us away from purpose. It takes us away from what's really important. So give your business identity, call it something. Now, what does that business look like if it's true to its purpose? What's the purpose of your Niken business? Well, one way to look at that is, what do you get paid for? What do you get paid for? How does that translate into money? So if you consider what it is you get paid for, what are the things that have to happen in order for you to get paid, then that aligns with purpose. So what's the service or the value that has to happen at the finish line in order for your business to be viable? There has to be new customers. At the end of the line is customers, and not just customers, but happy customers who've benefited in some significant way through the use of the products, through whatever process you engaged with them. And what's true for you is true for your downline. So what's true for you, what you're setting up as a standard for yourself, is the standard which you will then sow the seeds of in your organization. So that's also part of the purpose of your business. It's not only to provide service personally, but to teach and educate others how to do the same. That's part of the purpose of your business. Why? Because it's the kernel of replication. It's the kernel of being able to reproduce oneself. Just like men and women are born with the ability to procreate, we need our business to have the ability to procreate so that it can expand. So it's not just about what we do for personal customers, but how in fact we can procreate our business so that we can expand the number of customers and influence we have. And that's the ability to enroll people. So another thing you get paid for is the art of enrolling people into Niken so that they too can become effectively a promoter. Now, we don't get paid for sponsoring people, we get paid for volume, but the purpose of your business is to expand into the marketplace, to create more influence and be the most influential wellness company out there. So keep that in mind. This is part of the purpose of your business. So if your business has now this understanding of its purpose, it has to do with expansion, just like the 5 pillars have to do with expansion in a balanced way. What is the expansion of your business purpose in a balanced way? It's the expansion of customers and consultants. And I would add one more thing, something that Luis Kasuga, our CEO, recently advised us or shared with us, was there's more than just being involved in Niken as a customer or as a consultant. There's leadership. There's the cultivation of leadership. So I would add one of the other things that is a measure of whether your business is on purpose is whether you are creating leaders, or I should say, finding and helping and cultivating leadership. This is a part of the purpose of your business. So the 3 components of your business is the expansion of customers, the expansion of consultants, and the expansion of leadership and leaders in your organization. Those are the things that your business needs to be doing in order for it to fulfill its purpose. Now, what would it look like? What's the visual? What's the life cycle plan of your business? So that you have something that you're targeting. And we could break that down into 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 1 year from now, 3 months from now, this month, and how about like every day? So you could literally break it down into what's the daily method of operation. What are the things that I can see myself doing every day? What are the things that I can see facilitating every month, every quarter, every year, and so forth? And if I looked at something that we actually have something that helps us get a visual. It's called, anybody guess? Somewhere on this desk of mine, piled in the piles of stuff that I have. Did anybody have a guess of what I'm referring to? Here it is. It's a visual.
A rhythm.
It's a visual. What's this visual I have in my hand here?
Comp plan.
Comp plan. Yeah. Now, tie that comp plan with a rhythm, and what do you got? A business plan. Tie the comp plan with a rhythm, and what you got is a business plan. That's the visual. So the milestones that we attain and help others attain with some degree of predictability, some degree of rhythm. That's what our business would look like if our business had a heartbeat, if our business was alive, if it was prospering and living and breathing with some regularity. And there are times when our business is going to be at a slower pace than other times. But if that heart stops beating, the business dies. So the combination of having objectives tied to the comp plan and the calendar of events, that's a business plan. And we can even refine that even further. We can look at what are the efforts that you can break that down in terms of daily, weekly, monthly. We could look at the incentives program, which really narrows it down now to if these are the things that are happening in my organization, my business, and I'm taking responsibility of, then my business has a heartbeat. It's got regular movement and activity, and that's fueling the purpose. That's fulfilling the purpose of the business. And we could now work backwards from there. Now we know what it looks like. What are the actions that lead to that? And that's really the daily activities and the weekly activities. And that's what most people refer to as the rhythm. And then we can look even further back from there and say, okay, what would I have to believe to be true if I was somebody who was effective, who was helping, or let's keep it in the context of the business. What would the business have to believe to be true in order for that to happen with regularity? The business would have to believe that it's viable. So at some point in time, we might need to demonstrate the viability of the business, right? So one of the things that you could tie into your purpose is the achievements of others. Some type of regular thing that you're doing that is an achievement that's being measured and being recognized. And so if we look at the purpose, then it's expanded to the customers, the expansion of our customer base, the expansion of our consultant base, the expansion of our leadership, and the recognition of all of this would be another thing that's purposeful, because what you recognize multiplies, and that feeds the kernel of replication. Okay, so these would be 4 very, very significant purposes, or tied to the purpose of your business in terms of its ability to expand. Now, the last piece of this, working backwards, would be, what are the structures that I need to build or support or be part of that are going to lead to all of this? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, this call is a call that happens every Monday. This call serves a purpose for my business. Any guesses? Well, it's called aligning with success. So that's your first clue. So yeah, so one of the things that I bring to the table with this call and the recordings are points like we're making tonight. What does it mean if I'm really doing the business? What does it mean if I'm really building it properly? What does it look like? What are the things I would be paying attention to? What are the principles driving it? How does anybody learn all this stuff? Well, I use this call as an opportunity to teach these things and record them and galvanize that. And so when we come back and we revisit this time and time again in different ways, the message ultimately coming from this call is one thing only: aligning with success. And I'll tell you why that's important. Because I know enough about our business and life and people to know that an airplane is off course 97% of the time. Think about that. If an airplane is off course 97% of the time, how does it ever get back? Or how does it ever reach its destination? It's constantly making course corrections. Most of the time, it has a guidance system that's paying attention and constantly course correcting. So I see this call as that call. It's the thing that kind of keeps everything moving in a certain direction, keeps the conversation in the parameters of what are we doing here and how do we get better at it. So that's my contribution to my business, and how it fulfills my passion is that it's teaching. I love to teach. So I have a fulfillment of my passion, me the person, but my business has something fulfilled, which is purposeful. It's the guidance system of keeping people on track so that movement is in the right direction and not off course. So it's things like that, conversations like this that I think help sharpen the axe. So just as a recap, give your business a name, understand that as much as you as a human being has a purpose, and that purpose can be fulfilled in many ways, and having passion is the best way. Your business has a purpose. It's much more specific. It's very pragmatic, and Niken has given us all the tools we need in order to observe and respect and be mindful of it. But if we're not paying any attention to that, like when's the last time you actually picked up the compensation plan and showed somebody it or taught somebody it? When's the last time you did that? Think about it. So your business needs that to happen. Who's going to do it if it's not you? So it's those kind of things. Ruth, way to go yesterday. Awesome, Ruth. I know you're on purpose. You're 99.9% on purpose. You're like the best compass. So, but these are the things that I find matter. And they're the small things and the big things simultaneous, because even if that plane is only off course by 1 degree, you leave that thing off course long enough and it's going to be way off course. So even though it's a small thing, it's a big thing if left too long. So if it's not being done, if it's not being handled with some regularity, then your business is going to be off course. So again, you're not your business. Your business has a name. You are a person. And your job as a person, your purpose as a person, is to be the best you can be. That's humans being more, is to help you be the best that you can be. And your business has a purpose: to expand, to create more customers, more followers, more influencers. That's your purpose as a business, your business's purpose. And your business has tools to help that happen. And it has a plan to help that happen, and so forth. So hopefully this helps create some context. I think context is so important. And I'll tell you why this sort of came to me years ago. I realized a lot of people would say, I want to be a royal diamond. That's what they would say. People still say that. And I was puzzled by that, because I thought, if they think that that's what they want to be, then they're going to constantly be comparing themselves with other royal diamonds, with other people. And if they've never done that before, they might even be intimidated. So they might be imposing on themselves some form of intimidation that even keeps them away from that, because they think they got to be somebody they're not in order to be successful. And so it's sort of a counterintuitive, it'll sort of unwind them. But they could build a royal diamond business even if they've never done that before. See the difference? They can learn how to build a business. They can learn how to build a royal diamond business, because it's just a business. It's just principles at work, and we teach them and we do them and we create results and we multiply that. And that's how we grow royal diamond business. So you don't have to change you don't have to be something you're not. You need to learn how to build something you haven't. And you can do that being who you are. And in fact, probably the best thing you could do is be the best version you are and bring that into Nikken and help that particular brand of Nikken emerge. So now who you are is an asset and not a liability to Nikken. Who you are right now is a person that's capable of learning to do what we've done, what anybody has already done in building a royal diamond business, because it's just a certain amount of things multiplied with a certain amount of time. So it's really not that complicated. It's like, learn how to build a brick, now build a wall. So when we understand that, then we take away the anxiety of, I have to be somebody I'm not. And we put power, and we start to empower that individual right where they are in the process of growth. To acknowledge that whoever they are, you can learn how to build this, because that's how we do it. We learn how to do it. And you can do that starting now. And then that should also, call upon us to say, okay, well, let's talk about that for a second. You don't want to actually be a royal diamond, because we don't even know what that means, to be a royal diamond. But we do know what it means to build a royal diamond ship, because we do have a thing called a compensation plan that tells us exactly what it looks like. Now, what are the things that I have to do to create that? We can learn. So what you need to be is certain. What you need to be is present. What you need to be is on fire, excited. These are the things you need to be. Can you be those things right now? Because if you can be those things right now, and then we just point them in the right direction, we can build a royal diamond business. You see how empowering that is? It's huge. And I believe the biggest crisis in the world today, and has always been since man was put on this planet, is an identity crisis. We forgot who we are. And we keep labeling ourselves, trying to give ourselves some form of an identity. Cannot identify who I am. I am the son of the Creator, created in the likeness and image of the Creator. Define that. Go ahead. Yes, I do have a body. Is that all I am? I have a body. It's not what I am. I'm not my body. I have a body. I have a mind. I am not a mind. I have a mind. I have a family. I have a function in society, etc. So these are things that I have. It's not what I am. I am a spiritual being experiencing a physical reality. And that's about as definable as you can get it. So if we come back to earth and we start to appreciate and realize that everybody around us is the same, we're all in the same boat. We've got an identity crisis, and we need to start taking some of these labels off: Democrat, Republican, black, white. All this stuff's got to start peeling away, because that's what's keeping us from who we really are intending to be and should be. And then we can get to the work at hand, which is make a difference, serve others. So that's my message tonight. I'm going to shut up now and just take some feedback, comments, anybody.
I think you're brilliant.
Okay, well, enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think about me? Famous Marty Jeffrey line.
I like when you say be on fire. Like in French, we say être en feu, it's the same thing. But
Yeah.
my mind is really on fire because you're opening so much door. So I make reference with a lot of personal development books that I read in the past. And it's really enlightening and not only motivating, but I like the way you present your vision. It's really that implicates me, my mind, my art, everything.
What's your name? I can't see you, so I'm just hearing your voice.
My name is Benoit.
Benoit.
Yeah, Benoit.
Wonderful, Benoit. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks you.
Hi, Angelica.
Mike, I remember when you taught about name your business. And just lately I've been thinking, okay, my purpose. And I'm like, okay, but how does that tie into my business? And, all of that. So I'm reaffirmed again, this versus the, and not versus, but,
We
having that
complement
separate.
on each other.
Yeah, that's separate. It became more clear. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else want to jump in?
I do.
Yeah.
This is Ruth. So I wrote down what hit me was about me being the best version of me allows me to grow into what I want to be. And I know you said the words I need to be, but I really feel like need comes from lack. So I just want to be. I want to be more certain. I want to be more focused. I want to be more determined, more courageous, etc. That's where I want to head to. And sometimes when you're in it day in and day out, it can, you have your ups and downs. And sometimes when you're down, it just doesn't, you don't feel like you can be all those things. But coming on this call and writing it down and regurgitating back to you allows me to realize that, yeah, this can absolutely happen. So I appreciate it.
Now, Ruth, you can look at that as a purpose.
Mm.
Personal purpose is to be all those things. So now step back and say, what does it look like if I'm being those things? What are some of the things that I would be doing that I can imagine myself in, or situations that would allow that to unfold? So, and now that could be something of a daily habit where you form, because that's really what you want to be. You want to be the best version of yourself. So notice that that may not have anything to do with Niken and the business, but everything to do with Niken and the business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because the best version of you is what's being applied over there.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Well,
Hi,
okay.
Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
What I love that your weekly wonderful Zoom calls do is you live up to what you beautifully called it. You help us to align, and you help us to align all these moving parts that we have. And it makes me think of Mr. Masuda's wonderful 5 pillars of wellness, how we line all that up with the wonderful wellness.
Lost you there, Linda.
I'm sorry, I'm gone. Am I
There
back?
you go. Yeah, you're
Oh,
back.
there we are. How we line up our customers. How did you say that? The customer, the
Our consultants.
consultant, and then our team leaders, correct?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we've got all these moving parts, and what you beautifully do every week is help us to align all that, because it's a lot of things going on at the same time. And the picture that I get is that these all parallel, they don't intersect, they parallel. And once you can paint that like a train track, once you can put that visual, I'm kind of a visual person. Once I see all those, it's like different cars and the train. and we've got, you know, the pillars, and we've got our business, and we want to be a servant, and, you know, we've got vibrations, we've got all those things going on. But I'm looking at it like we're in a train, and we have all these different cars in the train, and they're all going in the same direction. We're on the same track, but we can lose sight of that because there is a lot going on at the same time. So you help to break it down so it doesn't seem so impossible, and it's very doable. It's like eating a wonderful meal, and you don't eat everything at once. You know, you morsel here and you morsel there, but you're going to eat that plate. So that's how I look at your class every.
Oh, awesome. Wow.
I
That's,
thank you for that.
thank you. That's such a great understanding of it, because the mind, when it's confused, the mind divided against itself cannot stand. The house divided against itself cannot stand. And so when you have these moving parts and you can't put them into context, then you feel like a chicken with your head cut off. You know, you're doing all these things, but you don't know if any of those things are really coming together or being effective. But helping to contextualize it so that, you know, the visual I get is the pebble in a pond. When you drop a pebble in a pond, you make a splash, and then there's this ripple effect. It's that constant ripple effect. It's like pouring rain on that pond, and it's just constantly creating those ripples, expanding out. That creates that awareness, simplifies, streamlines your mind, and that means the energy is more focused, like a laser beam, rather than all over the place. And that can be much, much more effective, of course, as is a laser beam. So I'm totally with you on that. If that's what I'm doing what I really am here to do, is to bring alignment to your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, which makes you more purposeful and more effective as a consequence. I see, Paul, your hand is up. Paul?
Yeah, I'm here. The name of my business is the Gabios Wellness Network. And I noticed now there's one, but just a few minutes ago, I looked at the participants. 2 of the people that I sponsored are on this call. I encourage all the business builders to be on this call. It's nice in a very concrete way to know that people in my business are also in your business, and that there's an opportunity to be taught by other people, not just me, in a very concrete, you know, monetized way. And I really, that's our whole system. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Paul. Absolutely. Again, we love what we do because we're, you know, I don't know how many times I've said this in the last couple of weeks. First you get into Niken, then Niken gets into you. We are those people. We know what it feels like. However, to be really effective I want you guys to know what it feels like to have more money than you know what to do with. I want you to know what that feeling is like, because then you're going to get more creative. You're going to be, you know, it just multiplies, money magnifies and multiplies your ability to be more of who you are. And if you're a nice person, you're going to do great things with it. If you're a generous person, you're going to just be more generous. You're going to have more opportunities to be generous. So money in the hands of the right people, I think, is what is necessary for this world to move into the right direction. And people who are aligned to Niken and the principles of Niken are people that I want to see more and more money in the hands of. Money is a tool. And that means just being more effective. And being more effective means just having a clear understanding of what it is that we're doing and why we're doing it and how purposeful it is, so that there's no ounce of doubt or reservation in your voice, in your eyes, in your body language, in your vibration. Because when you come across as somebody who is assured, you really know where you're going, what you're doing, people want to be around that. More now than ever, they want assurance, and they're finding that, you know, they might challenge you because they want to be sure before they lend themselves to what you're talking about. But when you're certain, when you're 100%, present and all those things, then you're going to be an incredible magnet to attract. And the law of attraction is what I always teach. It underscores everything I'm doing. And I know that the most powerful attraction is when your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are congruent. And so that means eliminating all of those distractions and all those things that might cloud your understanding. If I can help you get more and more aligned, more and more clear, then you're just going to be a more powerful magnet for attraction. And that's going to help your business, period. And of course, that translates into having more of the benefits associated with that in terms of the way you live. So I'm going to wrap it up now. We'll keep this one a little bit shorter than the long ones that we do. And I want to thank you all for joining me on a great start of the heat waves that we're all experiencing in North America. Let's keep it burning. This is a fire that needs to become an inferno. People need to hear this message loud and clear, and you're the emissaries of that. So let's get out there, make it big, make it bright. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
call, Mike.
Thank you so much.